Hey guys, welcome back to another Adam's Awesome Projects video, and today in this video I'm going to be talking about a step-by-step guide to becoming a pilot. And this is part of the Adam's Awesome Projects video for my journey to becoming a pilot. So in this video I'm going to be covering off what you need to become a pilot, including medical certificates, picking the right flight school, and the instructor, of course, because you obviously can't learn to fly without proper training. And also what you need for the actual certificate or license. It's the same thing, but we call it either. And then what I'm also going to cover is what you need to know about flight training itself and some things you did not know. So let's begin. Step 1, pick your medical certificate. What you want to do with your aviation is up to you. So are you looking for just to fly for fun and just enjoy the view from above and just fly friends and family for just like a fun vacation? Or do you want to get paid to fly passengers or cargo for hire? Or do you want to work for the airlines at the international airports for like companies like Southwest, Delta, Spirit, United, whatever? So in order to do that, step 1 is to get an FAA medical certificate. Now, what is an FAA medical certificate? A medical certificate is where you go to a doctor's office, and you're going to book an appointment with an aviation medical examiner, or AME for short. And then what they're going to do is they're going to question you about your health history, your medical history, and they're also going to ask, why do you want to fly? What got you into it? And also, when they do the exam, all they're just going to do is blood pressure, a vision test, and that's it. Now, they will not do blood work or any other stuff like your physical doctor does. It's not like that. That's not how an aviation medical examiner does it. Now, if you meet all the standards, they'll grant you your FAA medical certificate. Now, we're also going to talk about the types of medical certificates that are out there. Let's start off with Class 1. Class 1 is for those who want to fly for the airlines, like I just mentioned. So if you want to fly for Southwest, Delta, American Airlines, or Spirit, or Alaska Airlines, or whatever, then you will need a Class 1 medical certificate, but you will need a lot of hours and extensive training to do that. And also, you need to have a special certificate, which was an ATP, an Airline Transport Pilot's license. So that way you could carry the passengers around. Class 2 is for those who want to fly for commercial reasons. Like, let's say you want to fly passengers or cargo for hire. That's when you'll need a second class medical certificate. Now, with that, you can also have the flight instructor certificate, and we'll get into that in a second. So, the flight instructor certificate is not added on your pilot's license. That is a separate certificate that you get on its own. So, Class 3 is for those who just want to fly for fun. But here's the thing. When you're a private pilot, you do not get paid for that. And there are some restrictions that you have to understand. So, like, you can't fly passengers around for hire or compensation. And you can't charge passengers. When I say charge, I mean like you charge them money. You can't do that. Now, you will also need a Class 3 medical certificate. Also, if you're a student pilot, it's best if you get it earlier to avoid delays. And what I mean by that is that you are passing the exam and then you realize, oh shoot, I have a health condition that is disqualifying. Don't let that happen. Aviation medical examiners can actually review your health history just like your regular doctor. And upon that also, you can take lessons with an instructor without a medical certificate. But here's the thing, you cannot fly solo without an endorsement from the instructor or the medical certificate. It's just the rules for the FAA. Now, with that being said, we're going to move on to step 2. Step 2 is pick a flight school and also set up a schedule with the instructor, do a few intro flights, and then you're going to get a student pilot's application. You're going to read through that, and then you're going to fill out all the important information, including your date of birth, your name, and so forth. And you got to agree to all this. Like, let's say I damaged the airplane. Like, no, I would never do that, but I'm just saying as an example. But let's say, like, if there was, like, damage to the airplane, like you had an emergency landing, you are responsible as the pilot for that. So you're going to fill that out too. Now, also when you go for lessons, you also have to stabilize a schedule. So, like, it's best to fly 2 to 3 times a week. But again, that just depends on the person's schedule and their budget. Because as I mentioned in my previous video of how to save money during flight training is very expensive. And sometimes people don't prepare their budgets in advance. And then they realize, oh shoot, I don't have the money. Well, it's your fault because you didn't prepare for it. But also another thing I didn't mention too with the medical certificates, some of these flying types, like if you want to fly gliders or hot air balloons or be a ground instructor, those 3 do not require a medical certificate at all. You just got to make sure you're healthy enough to fly those things, and also you got to receive the proper training from an instructor too. You do not need to take an exam with the FAA for gliders. I'm not 100% sure. If you guys out there know, put in the comments below if I'm wrong. Now, as you do the hours with your instructor, then they're going to give you an endorsement saying you are capable to fly the plane, and then you're going to complete your first solo. And then what they're going to do next is you're going to go into training for a private pilot's license. You're going to practice stalls, slow flight, normal takeoffs, crosswind takeoffs, and so forth. And also, what you need to know is you have to pass the FAA knowledge exam. So the thing is, you have to get an 80% or higher. And if you get higher, that's good. You're all set. You've passed the exam. And if you think the written exam was the only thing, nope, there's more. You also have to do a practical test, also called a check ride. So think of the check ride almost like the driving test, like when you're driving on the ground, you know, with a driving instructor. So in the check ride, the examiner is going to look at your proficiency, and he or she wants to make sure you're doing aeronautical decision making, you're following all the airman certification standards, or ACS for short. And if you are in with standards, if you're in with standards, then the examiner will give you your certificate. Now, if you don't pass the check ride, don't panic. It's not the end of your aviation journey. It just means you need more training with your instructor before they send you for the check ride, because instructors are not allowed to send their student pilots to the check ride without verifying that the student pilot is confident and ready to fly. So, like, if the instructor does that, and they send them and then they realize, oh, they're not ready for the check ride, the instructor can get in huge trouble for that. So, secondly, when you pass the check ride, you're going to get your license, and then you got to make sure the airplane's documents and stuff is valid. And then also, once you get your private pilot's license, you can add on an instrument rating, you can have a multi-engine rating, and then you're going to do your instrument training, and then you're going to pass a check ride for that, and then commercial, and then you can do whatever you want after. If you want to fly as a flight instructor, you need to know your knowledge too. So also another pro tip, which is step 4, is have an online ground school. I recommend Pilot Institute because they're the best online ground school. I mentioned them last in a previous video, and they are the best ground school because it's online. You can do it at your own pace and rewatch videos on certain topics as much as you want. There's no time limit, no scheduling required. It's always right there for you when you need it. And also, if you're on the go, you can also review lessons from your phone too. So upon that also, you'll need a flight simulator too, as I mentioned in the last video too. So, and also I bet you never knew this too, you can add all the ratings on one pilot license that you have. There's no separate license that you need. And also you have to obey the regulations too, because if you disobey the regulations, they will revoke your license. But it's never happened to me, but it's just a pro tip I wanted to point out. So this is all I have to say now for this video. I hope you all loved my tips on how to become a pilot. And if you like this video a lot, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on that post notification bell so you get notified about all the content that comes out here on YouTube, guys. So peace out, everyone. This is Adam from Adam's Awesome Projects.